Hey, Siren. I bet you nobody told you that grief would probably show up at your happiest moments uninvited, did they? It's like you're finally having a good day and suddenly something small, something that shouldn't even matter, cracks you open. And the next thing you know, you're standing in the grocery store trying to hold it together over a can of soup. That's grief. And most of what we've been taught about it is incomplete at best and harmful at worst. So let's fix that.
You've reached the Secret Society's Unfiltered AF hotline.
At the tone, please record your message.
Hey, Size, it's your girl, Sycrett Frison, and the line is now open. This sacred circle is for anyone choosing growth from within. This is where we heal out loud and in color. And today we are switching gears a little bit from the personal development angle to something that shows up just as abruptly as this conversation did, and that is grief. Because grief deserves a real conversation and not the surface level, it gets better with time conversation, but the one we actually needed when we were in it. I see so often that people treat grief like it's just one thing, one feeling, one season that you go through, and you come out on the other side of it. You might be a little bit changed, but it's done. But grief doesn't work like that. Look at it like this: every emotion has a lane. You're happy, you're angry, you're anxious, you're at peace, and they don't really share a space. But grief, well, it doesn't have a lane. It has an all access pass. It will find you in your joy, it will find you in your anger, and maybe make you angrier than you even intended to be. It will sit right down in the middle of your laughter, unbothered, like it pays rent there. And that's not you being broken. That's grief being exactly what it is. Not just another emotion standing in line with the rest of them, but something that moves through all of them. It's less like a feeling and more like a filter. And once you understand that, so much of the confusion starts to lift, including the guilt. Because here's the part people are not saying out loud. We feel guilty for how we grieve. For so many years, even recently, I felt guilty for continuing life without them. Guilty for laughing too soon. Guilty for having a good day. Sometimes I feel guilty for being angry at the people who left and then angrier that they even left at all. I feel guilty for not crying enough in public and crying too much in private, and then having to fix my face before walking back into the world. And I think we do this because somewhere along the way, we were all handed the same script. We were told that grief looks like sadness. It looks like black clothes and a casserole that somebody dropped off. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And if you follow the script correctly, you might come out healed on the other side. And if you don't match that script, people will start to question whether you really even feel the guilt at all. I know that personally. I lost my father when I was 8 years old. Close to a decade later, my mom passed when I was 16. And what grief taught me early on is that life doesn't stop just because your world did. I have lost people, significant people, and had to keep moving. I kept smiling in their honor, and people read that as not grieving. What they didn't see was that I was doing the only thing that I knew how to do with pain that big, which was survive it one day, one breath, and one step at a time. I was constantly moving because stillness was where it would catch me, and I wasn't ready for that yet. That is grief too. All of it counts. And while we're here, another thing that doesn't get nearly enough air, society has created, completely without anyone's permission, a hierarchy of grief. It's like an unofficial ranking of whose loss is valid enough to fall apart over. And according to that ranking, some losses get a pass and some don't. For example, your best friend, your person, the one who knew everything, doesn't always make the cut. Or how about the grandmother who raised you and was your mother in every way that actually mattered, but it wasn't honored because the title on the paper didn't say mom? What about the pregnant mother who miscarried? Or a relationship that meant everything, even if the world never fully witnessed it? What about that animal who was your most consistent source of love for over a decade? Do they make the cut? Here's the thing, grief doesn't come with a ranking system. And this is what I need you to hear. The size of your grief is determined by the size of your love. Nobody else gets a vote on that. If it mattered to you, it counts. If it changed you, it counts. If you are not the same person you were before the loss, it counts. Full stop. Now, here's what helped me actually understand why grief moves the way it does. And stay with me because this part is important. Your brain doesn't store grief in one place. It's woven into your memories, your senses, and the emotional patterns you built around a person. So when grief connects itself to something, say a song, a smell, or a time of year, maybe even just a certain kind of afternoon light, your nervous system flags it. And every time you encounter that thing again, the grief comes with it. And that's why you can be completely fine until a random Tuesday in September does something to you that you cannot explain. Why you find yourself irritable around their birthday without even consciously realizing what day it is or almost is. Why a specific smell can take you somewhere in 2 seconds flat. You're not losing your mind. Your mind is doing exactly what it was designed to do, holding on to the people and the moments it loved. It just doesn't always ask if you're ready before it brings them back up. And remember that guilt we talked about? That's often your nervous system in conflict. One part of you is reaching for joy, where another part of you is reading that joy as a betrayal. Like being happy means you've let go, or laughing means you've forgotten. But you haven't. Your brain is just learning how to hold both at the same time, and that takes a lot longer than anybody tells you it will. So, what do we do with all of this? First, we stop fighting the form grief shows up in. We have to stop deciding it should look different than it does. Sometimes grief needs you to be still. Let it move through you and cry it out until there's nothing left. That's real and necessary. But sometimes grief asks you to roll down the windows and scream your person's favorite song until your lungs give out. Let them sing through you, because that is one of the places they still live, inside the music that made them who they were. Hey, sometimes it might look like cooking their best recipe badly and laughing at yourself for it. Sometimes it's wearing their hoodie to the store at 10 p.m. because that's just what the night needed. And sometimes it's laughing so loudly at a memory that your whole body shakes. And if you get quiet enough in that moment, you can feel them right there laughing with you. Your people, your lineage, everyone who loved you before you even knew how to ask for it. And that is not avoidance. That is not pretending to be okay. That is carrying someone. That is carrying legacy. And there is a real difference between those two things. So, if grief has found you, maybe inside something you weren't expecting, I want you to know that you are not doing anything wrong. You are allowed to smile and mean it. You are allowed to shed a tear and keep it moving. You are allowed to feel everything and nothing. Sometimes all within the same hour. And you do not owe anyone an explanation for which one it is today. Your grief is valid whether it has a title or not, whether it matches the script or not, whether the world recognizes the weight of your loss or not. Healing out loud doesn't always mean healing neatly. It means being honest about what this actually looks like, even if it's messy, even when it gets quiet, even when it shows up laughing. Remember, you are not behind, you are not broken, you are just human, loving someone who isn't here the way they used to be. And that is one of the hardest, most holy things we have to do. Listen, if this episode found you at the right time or gave you language for something you've been carrying without words for it, please share it. Pass it to the friend who needs it and doesn't know how to ask. Drop a comment and tell me where it hit because this circle only grows when we grow it together. As always, size, be you, be unshakable, and be unfiltered AF. The line is now closed. I'll see you in the next one.